Once upon a time, a girl named Cinderella lived with her stepmother and two mean stepsisters. They made Cinderella clean and cook all day for them, leaving no time for Cinderella for herself. One day, the king and the queen of their village announced a great ball for all the young ladies to attend. It was time for the son, the prince, to find a bride. Cinderella had to help make dresses for her mean stepsisters. She had no time to make a dress for herself. She worked hard on the dresses of her sisters, and they just made fun of her. "Hurry up," said the stepmother. "I am trying very hard," said Cinderella, "as I want to get my dress started too." Her stepsisters laughed and said, "Ha ha ha ha! Imagine Cinderella at the ball in her torn, raggedy dress! Ha 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 ha!" Cinderella just kept working to finish the stepsisters' dresses. On the night of the grand ball, a fine carriage picked up the mean stepsisters and the stepmother, but left Cinderella behind to do her chores. Cinderella had no dress anyway. She had no time left after making the stepsisters' dresses to make her own. She waved goodbye and said aloud, "I wish I could go to the ball." Then, poof! A fairy godmother appeared. Cinderella couldn't believe her eyes. "Who are you?" said Cinderella. "Well, I am your fairy godmother, and I will grant your wish to go to the ball," said the fairy godmother. "But what will I wear?" said Cinderella. "And how could I ever get there?" Then, poof! With a touch of her magic on Cinderella's head, Cinderella was dressed in the finest ball gown and special glass slippers that fit only her. Cinderella looked at herself and couldn't believe it. "But how will I ever get there?" said Cinderella. And then, poof! With the touch of her magic wand, the most beautiful carriage was waiting to take Cinderella to the ball. "Have a wonderful time," said the godmother. "But remember, Cinderella, at midnight, everything goes back to the way it was before." Cinderella promised her fairy godmother she would leave the ball by midnight. Cinderella went off to the ball. She met the prince and they danced all night. They were having such a great time, but Cinderella didn't notice the time was slipping away. Dark! The clock rang. It was going to be midnight. Dark! Cinderella had to leave. The prince begged her to stay. She ran at the ballroom stairs and one of her glass slippers full of her food. "Please stay," said the prince. "We have just met." "Goodbye," said Cinderella. She slipped into her carriage, and the prince was left standing on the ballroom stairs, holding Cinderella's glass slipper that had fallen in her foot. The prince knew that he must find her by matching the glass slipper to the fair maiden Cinderella, who fit that special shoe. The next day, he visited all the fair maidens and finally found Cinderella, who fit the glass slipper perfectly. Her stepmother couldn't believe it. "How can this be?" said the stepmother. "I can't believe my eyes," said one of the stepsisters. "Cinderella fits the slipper," said the other stepsister. The prince knew that he had found his bride. He said, "Come with me and live in my castle, my future bride." The prince and Cinderella had the most beautiful wedding in the whole land, and they lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, a girl named